Hi everyone, welcome to the Inner Circle. I'm Lawrence Algie.
I'm Ben.
I'm Tyler Phillips.
And today we're talking about Blade 2, a movie that it's a personal favorite of mine. Mostly because when I was younger, we didn't have a lot of DVDs at my house, so I didn't watch a lot of movies when I was younger, but we had this one. So I watched this a lot when I was in middle school.
This is a good one to watch a lot. Honestly.
I didn't have very many DVDs as a child. I was born with, what was that thing from SpongeBob? I was born with paper bones and paper skin and glass bones or something.
No, you were born with Blockbuster down the street. That's what happened. No, I had a Blockbuster, so I saw a good bit of movies every once in a while. My parents took me and I rented a movie every week. But this one, I wish I would have seen it back then. It probably would have been a little too violent for me as 8 years old. Oh, yeah. But this was, to compare it to the first Blade, this was so much better.
It's what I wanted the first Blade to be.
Yes.
When I heard about what Blade was, this is the look of it, the feel of it, everything. It was.
Oh yeah. It was great. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. The director did so much better on this one than he did the first one.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, he didn't direct the first one, did he?
Nope.
No. So, but I hated that it started off with without the other girl, and it's just oh, where's she gone? Nobody cares. Nobody knows. She's just gone. But Whistler's come back.
Yeah. The girl wasn't that good in the first one. That's one of the things I like about this one. Like the acting overall in this thing, it just felt way less awkward than the first one. It was just more like, yes, this is a real movie. There's no awkward acting. Wesley Snipes was more charismatic in this movie. Did anybody feel that? So it just overall, I thought they got rid of the stuff that was meh, and then they just kind of, I don't know, they went for all the good stuff.
Yeah, and another thing is they brought in Norman Reedus for this before he was cool, before Walking Dead. And I appreciate that pick. He was a good actor in this movie.
I haven't seen Walking Dead, but I recognized him. I knew he was from something.
Yeah, he was in Walking Dead. I think they really wanted to focus on the stunts of this movie because, speaking of swords, every vampire had a silver sword to kill vampires, and I'm just like, why? Why do you have a ready silver sword to kill other vampires?
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it was just you'd think the vampires would just have a gun to kill Blade with, because that's how he could die. No, they have a silver sword, and I'm like, why?
I mean, I just assume it's because they've been training for so long to take him out, and they know he's got a sword, so, use a sword to fight a sword.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and set up the plot real quick, because we're mentioning swords and a team, and many viewers probably don't know about it. So there's this new breed of vampire that comes in, and it is kind of it doesn't die with silver, it doesn't die with garlic, it only can die from sunlight. And it is a lot more vicious, and it feeds off vampires. So vampires team together with Blade, and they go and try and take out this new vampire, and we see what happens in the end. Things change, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I really like the way they went with this, though. It was a good direction. It definitely kept a lot of what the first movie had. The shot style, the hilariously quick glasses flick, where it's just, you could tell nothing was thrown. He just had it in his hand already, and he just shook it. It was that kind of style, and I love it. I love that kind of shooting. What did you guys think of it?
I love the action in this one better.
Really?
All the fight scenes in it.
Yes.
The fight scenes were amazing. You could tell they spent a lot more time focusing on, okay, we need to make these as epic as we possibly can for back when it was made.
You know what my favorite one was? What? The one where all the lights, they turned on the lights, and then the two of them were fighting in front of the lights, and they're both CGI, and they're just flipping.
I do remember seeing that.
That was you have these great stunts, why would you do that? Why would you do that? But the general shot placement, just the locations, the fact that at the end Wesley Snipes pops out of that pool of blood, just overall the action felt more epic in just the way it was executed.
It was definitely more planned, and I think this one, if I want to put it into context, I feel like the first one didn't have a storyboard at all, and this one probably had 2 storyboards where they'd overanalyze everything.
Yeah, because the first one I felt like, I remember getting like halfway through the movie and I was still like, okay, what's the plot here? What's this about other than just killing guys?
Yeah.
This one, it starts off, okay, Blade 1 started off and it was like, it's set up that his mother died and there's some kind of emotional core and you're supposed to get invested to Wesley Snipes, who I don't think is that great of an actor. This one just starts off and the story is, here's these vampires, they're new, they're worse, you gotta stop them. You didn't really have to like get emotional with Blade or anybody. You have to like care. You just get into it, and it's.
I think that's a good point. You don't have to get emotional with anybody.
Yeah.
But somehow you do towards the end.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the spoiler section. Like, they bring on Whistler as a vampire, and he's immediately cured.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I hate about this movie.
Yeah.
They get rid of him in the first movie, and like, oh yeah, he's dead, he's gone. And they just immediately retcon. Oh no, everything's back to normal.
Yeah.
Why?
That bothered me. Like when I watched this movie again, I thought about that. I was like, this doesn't make sense. How does injecting him? Because what was it? It seemed like they injected him with like some super intoxicated blood or something like that, and it just cured him.
It just looked like the normal serum that Blade's been using. What I think they tried to push for was that he was being cured the whole time by the vampires, but it was like a slow process so they could beat him. And like he said, they beat him, cured him, beat him, cured him. And so since they've been curing him, I feel like it had some kind of effect to where they tried to keep him human as possible where they can give him pain.
Wow.
And that's the only reason is he gave that final dose, and it's like, this is about 100 times of what you've been experiencing, so you're actually going to be cured. Bam. Because he's been in that state, so he was able to be cured. I don't know. It's weird, but I hated that they did that that way. I wish he would have just been a vampire, because there was really no use in him being human in this movie. Norman Reedus, I liked him.
His name's Scud. I just remember.
Scud, yeah. He is really good, and honestly, at first I preferred him over Whistler.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
but then he started doing like this thing, like I was confused because it was like every other scene he's mentioning how you shouldn't trust Whistler, blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, why? What did he do to you? I thought it was just some jealousy complex. No, it was actually just him trying to separate Whistler and Blade so they could kill Blade. Because Scud is one of them. One of the socials.
That just had no build up to it. He just kind of turned around and he's like, oh, I'm evil. I'm like, that. It didn't even feel like you were...
So, I think they did that on purpose because they wanted you to feel just like that instant shock and just already be like, you son of a gun.
Yeah.
And then just enough time for you to say that, boom, he's dead. Yeah. And I'm like, yes.
I love that. Like, I thought...
I did too.
Because I was enjoying the movie up to that point, and I was annoyed because I was like, oh, now we're just going to do this thing where he's going to be a bad guy and he's going to have his own little subplot. Nope, dies.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's like, thank goodness. And it's just like, he's like, you think I wasn't onto you? Uh-oh. I literally just went, ooh.
I wasn't onto him at all. What do you mean onto him? How was he onto him? Like, I don't understand that. There was no build up to it. There was no suspicion that Blade had. Whatever.
There wasn't, but then it caught me, and I realized, I'm like, that's how the vampires originally got past their security system. Scud was telling them about the whole thing.
Oh, you mean in the beginning? Those
Yeah.
two? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Scud told them how to get in.
I completely missed that.
So, but... yeah, and then in the end, Normac, he didn't have much build to me at all. Yeah. Or Nomac? I can't remember his name.
His motivation to get revenge on his father was a little...
dull.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of him?
I mean, I like him as a character just because I think he's a cool vampire type.
He is.
I thought his entire dynamic for what he was really interesting and unique. But as a person, I mean, the first time I watched the movie, I will admit, and every time I watch it after, I always think that he's related to his dad because they look
exactly the same.
They look exactly the same. I'm like, this is not surprising as you guys really wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I was wondering that in the middle of the movie. I'm like, that vampire looks strangely like the Reapers.
Yeah, but I thought that was just some piece of lore that I didn't know about why the big dude, the old dude, looked that way.
Yeah, I guess it was just that's his blood lineage or something. I don't know. I thought he was a Reaper for a little while. I was like, is he just a Reaper with control?
Yeah, I thought
but
was
no.
something.
I assume it's because he's an elder vampire and that's why his blood was green.
Yeah. He definitely, I'm glad they killed him off. It was easy, quick. I'm like, good. The fact that he turned to the woman, like, during this whole scene, I was thinking, okay, no, Mac's good now. He's just gonna go sup Blade and leave. Like, leave it like the loose end, like that other guy in the movie. And just come back later. But no, he turned and he killed what's her name, and I was hating it. I was like, you're kidding me. We gotta get rid of another love interest?
I'm fine with that too, because there was no romance in the first place. It felt forced, and I'm glad she died. And I like how the way she died, how she wanted to see the sun. It was all dramatic and nice. I'm fine with it. But I did want what's his name? Normac. I wanted him to be an anti-hero. I wanted him to just kill his dad and then be like, okay, goodbye.
Exactly. I would love it for him to be an anti-hero. But I do think that Black Panther got this sunset death scene from Blade 2. No doubt. Yeah. Like, this was so reminiscent of that, and I'm just watching it, I'm like, yep, this is Black Panther all over.
I just said I like that death scene. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, it just reminded me of it. I don't know why. Just dying as a sunrise. Okay, cool. Anyway, so let's move on to our final reviews, scores. Why don't you want to start it off?
The first one an 8.
You know, I think I will give it an 8. I really enjoyed this movie. I like the action. I love the... What am I thinking of? Not the costumes, but... Just the look of it. The design. Thank you. The design of it. I love the design of it. Yes, the sun. Everything about it. I like seeing more in the vampire world. I think it's interesting that vampires really love clubs for whatever reason. They just
I did like how it was reminiscent. They're all dancing and it's just like, alright, where's the blood rain?
Yeah, I kind of missed that because that was such a cool opening from the first one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But yeah, beautiful movie.
Okay, so the first one was awkward and kind of just all over the place. The acting was weird, but this one they turned Blade into a charismatic character. I cared about him. I was following him. I wanted him to succeed. I thought the world was cool. The direction was cool. You guys are going to hate me, though, because I'm really harsh with my rating system. Like, you have Citizen Kane up there at like a 10 out of 10, and I put Blade at like a 4. So this is like a 6 for me. But that's good. That's good in my mind. That's good in my mind.
You're Rotten Tomatoes, we're IMDb.
I see that.
So I'll give it a 7 because of plot points. There was some plot points I was like, maybe not do that. There was one time where I caught another editing error. I think there was one guy that walked up. He took off his coat and he had his glasses during the whole like club fight scene. It shows the soldier like ready to go at him. It cuts back to him. He doesn't have his glasses on. But I'm just assuming that was like whenever they cut, he took them off or something. It wasn't that bad. All right, guys. I think that's it for this week. Tune in next week. We're going to watch The Circle. So we're going to watch it next week. It's on Amazon Prime. Check it out. Bye, guys.